A woman will never walk up to you and say, "Hey, I'm attracted to you. Please make a move." That's not how it works. Take seconds. Instead, she'll do something far more subtle. She'll touch something, and if you don't know what that something is, seconds, congratulations. You just missed your shot, and she's already moved on to the guy who actually pays attention. Here's the part that's going to sting a little. Seconds. According to a study published in the Journal of Nonverbal Behavior, over seconds of emotional communication between two people happens without a single word being spoken. The most important conversation she's having with seconds, you right now, isn't coming out of her mouth. It's happening with her hands seconds. And most men are completely illiterate when it comes to reading it. So let me be brutally honest with you for a second. As a woman, I can tell you that seconds, we are not as mysterious as men make us out to be. We actually give away a ridiculous amount of information through the things we touch, the way we move seconds, and where our hands go when we're around someone we're genuinely attracted to seconds. The problem isn't that women are impossible to read. The problem is that nobody ever taught you the language, and today that changes. What I'm about to seconds share with you in this video is not some recycled dating advice you've heard 100 times before. This is real behavioral psychology, backed by actual research from institutions like Harvard, Seconds, Princeton, and the Kinsey Institute. I personally spent weeks going through clinical studies, body language expert analyses, and honestly, my own minute second experiences as a woman who has done every single one of these things without even realizing it at the time. Now, minute seconds. Before we get into the first sign, I need to tell you something important. Seconds, the last sign on this list. Number 8 is the one that catches most men completely off guard because it doesn't look like flirting at all. In fact, most minute seconds guys interpret it as the opposite of attraction. But when a woman does it, it means she's already imagining what it would be like to be with you. So make seconds sure you stay until the end, because that one alone could change the way you see every interaction with a woman from this point forward. Let's get into it. Seconds. The first thing a woman touches when she's attracted to you is her hair. And I know you're probably thinking seconds, that's so obvious. Everyone knows that. But here's what you don't know. Seconds. There's a massive difference between a woman casually pushing hair out of her face because it's windy and a woman deliberately playing with her hair because you're standing in front of her. Seconds. Dr. David Givens, who directs the Center for Nonverbal Studies, has spent over years researching courtship signals in humans. According to his research, seconds, when a woman repeatedly touches, twists, seconds, or flips her hair during a conversation with a man, it's one of the most ancient and reliable courtship signals in the human species. It's not something we seconds consciously decide to do. It's neurological. When attraction triggers a release of dopamine and norepinephrine in the brain, it literally increases seconds nervous energy in the hands, and the hair is one of the first places that energy goes. So here's how to tell the difference. If she touches her hair once second and moves on, that's probably just grooming. But if she keeps doing it seconds, twisting it around her finger, sweeping it to one side, pulling it over one shoulder to expose her neck, that's not accidental. That's her body screaming, seconds, look at me. And speaking of the neck, seconds, that leads us directly into the next sign, which is even more revealing. When a woman lightly touches her neck or runs her fingers along her collarbone while seconds talking to you, something very specific is happening in her nervous system. The neck is one of the most vulnerable areas of the human body. It's where major minute secondaries sit close to the surface. From an evolutionary standpoint, exposing or drawing attention to the neck is a minute second submission and trust signal. She is literally telling you without words that she feels safe around you and that she, seconds, wants you to notice her in a more intimate way. Body language expert Vanessa Van Edwards, who runs the Science of People Research Lab, has minutes, seconds pointed out that neck touching in women during social interactions with men, minutes, seconds, they find attractive increases by nearly percent compared to interactions with men they have no interest in. Percent, that is minutes, seconds, not a coincidence. That is biology doing what biology does. And here's a little insider detail from the female perspective. When I catch myself minutes seconds touching my neck around a guy, I usually don't even realize I'm doing it until after the conversation. It's almost embarrassing how involuntary it is. So minutes, seconds, if you see a woman doing this while she's talking to you, trust what you're seeing. Her body is way more honest than her words will ever be. This one is minutes, seconds subtle, but incredibly powerful. If a woman touches her lips, whether she's lightly pressing a finger to them minutes, seconds, biting her lower lip, or slowly applying lip balm while maintaining eye contact with you, she's not just moisturizing. Minutes, seconds, she's drawing your attention to one of the most sensual parts of her face, and she's doing it on purpose, even if she doesn't fully realize it. Research from Minutes, the University of Manchester, used eye-tracking technology and found that when men look at a woman's face, they minutes, seconds spend approximately percent of that time focused on the lips, especially when the lips are a color that contrasts with the skin. Women instinctively know this. Minutes, seconds, we've known it for thousands of years. Minutes, seconds, that's literally why lipstick was invented, to make the lips more noticeable and more inviting. So, when a woman touches her lips in front of you minutes, seconds, she's amplifying a signal that evolution has already hardwired you to respond to. Minutes, seconds, she's essentially putting a spotlight on the part of her face she knows you're already looking at. And if that isn't a green light, I honestly don't know what minutes, seconds is. But the next one is the sign that separates she might be interested from she is definitely interested. And it involves something minutes most men completely overlook. This is one of the most underrated attraction signals in existence. When a woman starts fidgeting with her jewelry minutes, seconds, playing with her necklace, spinning her ring, tugging on her earring while she's in a conversation with you, it's one of the clearest indicators that her nervous system is activated by your presence. Minutes, seconds. Here's the psychology behind it. Minutes, seconds, fidgeting with jewelry is what behavioral psychologists call a self-soothing displacement behavior. It happens when the body is experiencing a surge of emotional arousal, excitement, minutes, seconds, nervousness, attraction, and needs a physical outlet to manage that energy. Minutes, seconds, the jewelry becomes a tool for managing the internal chaos that you are causing inside her. And there's an added layer to this. Dr. Albert Mehrabian, the minutes, seconds psychologist famous for his research on communication, found that when people are emotionally engaged in a conversation, their self-touching minutes, seconds behaviors increase significantly. The more attracted she is, the more she needs to do something with her hands, minutes, seconds. And if those hands keep going to her necklace, especially if the necklace sits right above her chest, she's not so subtly directing your eyes exactly where minutes, seconds she wants them to go. You're welcome for that information. Now, we shift from self-touching to direct contact, and this is where things get unmistakable. Minutes, seconds. If a woman reaches out and touches your arm, your shoulder, or your hand during conversation, she is breaking a very minute-second significant social barrier. Physical touch between two people who are not yet intimate is a huge deal from a neurological standpoint. A study from Minutes, DePaul University found that a brief touch during a social interaction increases the recipient's perception of warmth, trust, and attractiveness toward minutes, seconds, the person who initiated the touch. In other words, when she touches your arm, she's not just expressing interest minutes, seconds. She's also trying to make you feel more connected to her. It's a two-way strategy, and it's brilliant. Here's what's funny about this. From a woman's minutes, seconds perspective, when I touch a guy's arm during a conversation and he doesn't acknowledge it at all, doesn't smile minutes, seconds, doesn't lean in, doesn't mirror the touch, it feels like throwing a ball to someone and watching it just hit them in the chest and fall to the ground. No minutes, seconds catch, no reaction, nothing. It's genuinely deflating. So, gentlemen, if a woman touches your arm, the correct minutes response is not to freeze like a deer in headlights. Acknowledge it, lean into it, mirror it, because she just told you minutes, seconds, everything you needed to know without opening her mouth. This one is sneaky. Minutes, seconds, and most men have absolutely no idea it's even happening. When you're sitting across from a woman at a bar, a restaurant, or even a coffee shop, watch minutes, seconds, what she does with her glass. If she's slowly running her finger around the rim or tracing the edge of her cup, or gently sliding her finger up and down the stem, minutes, seconds of a wine glass. That is a textbook seduction gesture. Body language researcher and former FBI behavior analyst Joe Navarro has written minutes, seconds extensively about how object manipulation during conversation is a strong indicator of emotional engagement. Minutes, seconds, and often sexual interest. The glass becomes a stand-in. She's channeling the physical energy of her attraction into minutes and object because she can't channel it directly toward you yet. The relationship hasn't gotten there. So minutes, seconds, the glass gets all the attention that she actually wants to give you. And honestly, if you're a man sitting across from a woman and she's doing this while minutes, seconds, holding eye contact with you and smiling, and you still can't tell she's interested, I say this with love, you might need to watch this video twice. Minutes, seconds, when a woman starts adjusting her clothing in front of you, straightening her top, smoothing her skirt, tugging at her sleeve, or checking that everything, minutes, seconds, is sitting right. She is doing one very specific thing. She is pining, and pining is one of the oldest courtship behaviors in the animal kingdom. Minutes, seconds, or entomologist and evolutionary biologist Jeffrey Miller has drawn fascinating parallels between human pining behavior, minutes, seconds, and the way birds groom themselves before a potential mate. It's not about vanity, it's about presentation. She wants to look her absolute best in front of you. Because on a biological level, minutes, seconds, she is competing for your attention and your selection. The key distinction here is context. If she was already adjusting minutes, seconds, her outfit before you walked in, that's just regular self-care. But if she starts doing it after she notices you, or minutes, seconds, while she's talking to you, that's a targeted behavior. She wants to make sure you're seeing the best version of her, and the fact that she cares that minutes, seconds, much about how she looks, specifically in your eyes, that tells you everything. Minutes, seconds. Now, remember at the beginning I told you about sign number 8, the one that most men misinterpret completely. Minutes, here it is. And trust me, this one is going to reframe a lot of past interactions for you. When a woman rests her chin on her hand, cradles her own, minutes, seconds, face, or gently touches her cheek while listening to you talk, most men interpret this as boredom. They think she's zoning out, propping her head up because she's tired of the conversation. Minutes, seconds, that is almost always the wrong read. Minutes, seconds, what she's actually doing is called facial framing, and it is one of the most intimate self-touch signals a person can display. Psychologist Dr. Minutes, second, Monica Moore from Webster University conducted a landmark study observing over women in social settings in minutes, seconds, cataloged over distinct, nonverbal flirting behaviors. Facial self-touching, specifically chin resting, minutes, seconds, and cheek cradling, was among the top most frequently observed signals from women who are actively engaged with and attracted to a male counterpart. Here's minutes, seconds, why it works. When a woman frames her face with her hands, she is unconsciously directing your attention to her facial features, her eyes, her smile, her expressions. She's saying, minutes, seconds, look at my face, see me, really see me. Minutes, seconds, it's vulnerable, it's soft, and it's one of the most genuine indicators of deep attraction because it typically only shows up when she's comfortable enough. Minutes, seconds, to let her guard down around you. So if you've ever been in a conversation with a woman and she was sitting across from you with her chin resting in her hand, minutes, seconds, eyes locked on yours, smiling while you talked and you thought she was bored. Minutes, she wasn't bored, my friend. She was falling for you and you missed it. Minutes, seconds. Here's the thing about all of these signals. Not a single one of them involves words, not one. And that's exactly why most men miss them. We live minutes, seconds, in a world that teaches us to listen to what people say. But the truth is, the body speaks first, and it speaks louder. Minutes, seconds, a woman's words might tell you she's fine, or just being friendly. But her hands, her posture, her unconscious gestures, those are telling you the real story. Now that you have this knowledge, minutes, seconds, you have a responsibility not to manipulate, not to assume, but to pay attention. The next time you're talking to a woman and you notice her twisting, minutes, seconds, her hair, touching her neck, playing with her necklace, or resting her chin in her hand while she looks at you, minutes, seconds, don't just stand there. Recognize what's happening, respond to it, because she's already halfway across the bridge toward you. All you have to do is meet her in minutes, seconds, the middle. And now that you understand exactly how a woman signals attraction through touch, there's a whole other side to this equation that nobody talks, minutes, seconds, about. The thing she actually wants you to do about it. Because knowing she's interested is only half the battle. What minutes, seconds she's hoping happens next. That's where most men either step up or completely fumble. I actually made a video, minutes, seconds, specifically about that. It's called 7 Dirty Things Women Secretly Want Men to Do, but Never Say Out Loud. And minutes, seconds, honestly, it might be the most important video you watch after this one, because everything I just showed you today, the hair touching, the lip biting, the arm, minutes, seconds, grazing, those are all invitations. And that video tells you exactly what she's inviting you to do. It's on your screen right now. Click it, because if you seconds understood today's video, that one is going to connect every remaining dot. Go watch it, right?